As we stand on the threshold of Ramadan 2026, our hearts yearn for renewal, our souls seek purification, and our minds are eager for guidance. Ramadan is not merely a month of fasting. It is a transformative journey that shapes our character, strengthens our faith, and illuminates our path toward Allah's mercy and forgiveness. This sacred month invites us to pause, reflect, and rise above our daily distractions to embrace a life of purpose, gratitude, and spiritual elevation. Today, I will share 6 powerful steps that will help each of us prepare not only to fast with our bodies, but to awaken our hearts, sharpen our intentions, and ignite our spirits in a way that Ramadan 2026 becomes a beacon of light in our lives and the lives of those around us. Let us embark on this journey together, ready to transform challenges into opportunities and devotion into a lifelong commitment. As Ramadan approaches, the first and most powerful step we must take is to renew our intention. In Islam, intention is the foundation of every action. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Actions are judged by intentions, and every person will be rewarded according to what they intended." This is not just a statement, it is a profound truth that reminds us that no matter how great our deeds appear outwardly, their value in the eyes of Allah is determined by the sincerity behind them. Renewing your intention is about returning to the heart of your faith and realigning your actions with a purpose that transcends the mundane. Ramadan is a time when the soul is awakened, when the heart is reminded that every fast, every prayer, and every act of kindness is an opportunity to draw closer to Allah. But to benefit fully from this blessed month, we must begin with clarity in our hearts. Ask yourself, why am I observing this Ramadan? Is it out of routine, social expectation, or is it truly a journey to seek Allah's pleasure? Many of us approach Ramadan with good habits, but without heartfelt intention. We wake up early for suhoor, pray on time, and even give charity, but the heart may remain distant, distracted by the noise of the world. To transform Ramadan into a month of spiritual revival, we must intentionally shift our focus inward. This requires honesty with ourselves and a conscious commitment to live each day with purpose. Take a moment before the first fast, before the first Taraweeh prayer, and make a personal pledge to Allah. Let this pledge be more than words. Let it be a promise to engage your heart fully, to feed your soul as much as your body, and to embrace every challenge of Ramadan with devotion and patience. Renewing your intention also means understanding that Ramadan is not just about abstaining from food and drink. Fasting is far more than a physical exercise. It is a spiritual discipline. It teaches self-control, empathy, and gratitude. But these lessons only bear fruit if your heart is consciously engaged. When hunger or fatigue tests you, remind yourself, this is not mere deprivation. It is a means to purify the soul, strengthen character, and draw nearer to Allah. Every moment of restraint becomes a spiritual investment when your intention is pure. One of the most beautiful aspects of renewing your intention is that it allows you to experience Ramadan as a gift rather than an obligation. When your actions are guided by purpose, your fast becomes a journey of love, not just discipline. Your prayers are transformed from routine into heartfelt conversation with your Creator. Your charity becomes an expression of compassion rather than a duty. In this way, your entire experience of Ramadan is elevated. To truly renew your intention, reflection is key. Take a few minutes each day to evaluate your thoughts, words, and actions. Ask yourself, am I doing this for Allah alone? Am I distracted by worldly desires? Am I mindful of my behavior and the impact it has on my spiritual growth? This reflection is not meant to induce guilt. It is meant to awaken the heart, to realign your soul, and to deepen your connection with the divine. Another important aspect of intention is consistency. Ramadan is just one month, but the habits you build during this time can last a lifetime. When you begin with the right intention, you lay the foundation for long-term spiritual transformation. Even after Ramadan ends, the sincerity and mindfulness cultivated through your renewed intention can continue to guide your actions, your prayers, and your character throughout the year. Finally, renewing your intention requires humility and dependence on Allah. Recognize that true change is not achieved by effort alone, but through Allah's guidance and mercy. Pray for His support to keep your heart pure, your actions sincere, and your spirit motivated. Seek forgiveness for past shortcomings and embrace the opportunity that Ramadan provides to begin anew. Every day of fasting, every act of worship becomes a means to illuminate the heart when accompanied by a genuine conscious intention. In essence, the first step to a powerful and transformative Ramadan is a heart fully awake, a mind fully aware, and a soul fully committed. Before we move to recitation of the Qur'an, before we enhance our prayers, before we give charity or engage in self-reflection, we must return to the root of our deeds, the intention. Let this Ramadan be different, not just another month, but a month where every action, no matter how small, is infused with purpose, sincerity, and love for Allah. When your intention is renewed, your entire Ramadan becomes a journey of light, mercy, and transformation. A journey that begins in the heart and extends to every aspect of your life. Renew your intention, and you renew your life. Ramadan is the opportunity, your heart is the vessel, and sincerity is the key that unlocks the blessings of this sacred month. Let your intention be clear, let it be strong, and let it guide you to a Ramadan that transforms not just your habits, but your soul. Ramadan is known as the month of the Qur'an. It was in this blessed month that the first revelation came down to our beloved Prophet Muhammad, guiding humanity with wisdom, mercy, and light. For those seeking to transform their lives spiritually, emotionally, and morally, the Qur'an is not merely a book. It is the ultimate companion, guide, and source of healing. And yet, despite its central place in our faith, many of us approach it casually, skimming its words or reciting without reflection. To truly prepare for Ramadan 2026, we must strengthen our connection with the Qur'an in a profound and heartfelt way. The first step in this connection is recognizing the Qur'an as a living guide, not just ritual reading. Each verse, each word carries wisdom that speaks to our hearts, minds, and souls. When we read the Qur'an with intention, our hearts awaken. Its words remind us of Allah's mercy, our purpose, and the beauty of obedience. It becomes a mirror reflecting our inner state and a light guiding us out of the darkness of distractions and despair. Approaching the Qur'an with sincerity transforms Ramadan from a routine of fasting into a journey of spiritual awakening. A practical way to strengthen this connection is to create a structured plan for recitation and reflection. Do not limit yourself to mere quantity, focus on quality. Even a few verses each day, if understood and internalized, can have a profound impact on your heart. As you read, pause to ponder, what is Allah teaching me through this verse? How can I apply it to my character, my decisions, and my interactions with others? This practice of reflection turns words on a page into living lessons that shape your life. Equally important is developing the habit of listening to the Qur'an mindfully. The Prophet said, "The best of you is the one who learns the Qur'an and teaches it." Listening with attention allows the words to penetrate the heart. Choose moments in your day, perhaps after Fajr, during quiet evenings, or before iftar, to listen attentively, not just hear, and let the Qur'an speak directly to your soul. It is in these moments that hearts are softened, sins are humbled, and guidance is embraced. Strengthening your connection with the Qur'an also means embracing its wisdom through application. Recitation alone is not enough if the lessons remain abstract. Let the Qur'an shape your daily life. Practice patience as taught in its stories. Show gratitude as instructed in its guidance, and cultivate humility through its reminders. Every verse has the power to transform behavior and elevate the soul. During Ramadan, this alignment between recitation and action is especially potent, as the month itself amplifies the rewards of sincere deeds. Another dimension is memorization and retention, not as a competitive pursuit, but as a means of keeping the Qur'an alive in your memory. Memorizing even small passages allows you to carry guidance wherever you go. When challenges arise, the verses you have committed to heart can soothe anxiety, guide decisions, and remind you of Allah's presence. This practice of embedding the Qur'an in your memory ensures that Ramadan leaves a lasting impact long after the month has passed. Equally vital is seeking understanding through tafsir, interpretation. Many of us recite without grasping the depth of meaning behind the words. Studying the tafsir illuminates the context, lessons, and spiritual insights contained within the Qur'an. It transforms recitation from habit into a transformative experience, where each revelation becomes a conversation between you and Allah, deepening your faith and enriching your character. Finally, a strong connection with the Qur'an requires consistency and devotion. Make it your daily priority, not only during Ramadan, but in preparation for it. Approach the Qur'an with humility, knowing that its wisdom is infinite and that every moment spent in its company brings you closer to Allah. This is the secret of truly transformative Ramadan: hearts softened by reflection, minds enlightened by understanding, and lives reshaped by application. In essence, to strengthen your connection with the Qur'an is to invite guidance, healing, and light into your life. It is to turn Ramadan into a month of profound spiritual awakening. When your heart is anchored in the Qur'an, your actions are naturally guided, your intentions remain pure, and your soul finds tranquility. This connection is not only for the days of Ramadan, it is a lifelong relationship that continues to nourish and inspire. This Ramadan, let us resolve to not just read or listen to the Qur'an, but to embrace it, live it, and let it transform every aspect of our being. Begin with a small commitment, a few verses each day, reflective listening, and intentional application. Watch as your heart opens, your patience grows, and your connection with Allah deepens. Strengthening your bond with the Qur'an is not an obligation. It is a profound opportunity to renew your soul, elevate your spirit, and experience Ramadan as the beautiful, transformative journey it was meant to be. Ramadan is the perfect time to transform not only our habits, but our hearts. And there is no greater avenue for this transformation than through our prayers. Salah is the pillar of our faith, the conversation with our Creator, and the direct connection that nourishes the soul. While fasting purifies the body, prayers purify the heart and elevate the spirit. To truly prepare for Ramadan 2026, we must commit to elevating our prayers and cultivating spiritual discipline, turning our acts of worship into moments of profound reflection, humility, and closeness to Allah. The first step in this elevation is mindfulness in prayer. Too often, we perform salah as a routine, reciting words without letting their meanings penetrate our hearts. The Prophet reminded us that the one who prays as if standing before Allah is the one who truly benefits from it. Every posture, every recitation, every pause is an opportunity to connect deeply with the divine. Before beginning each prayer, take a moment to quiet your mind, clear distractions, and bring your focus entirely to Allah. Let your heart speak, let your mind reflect, and let your soul surrender. When we pray with awareness, the ritual becomes transformative rather than mechanical. Elevating your prayers also involves embracing additional acts of worship beyond the obligatory salah. Taraweeh, Qiyamul Layl, night prayers, and voluntary sunnah prayers are not just extra deeds. They are opportunities to cultivate spiritual strength, patience, and resilience. In these quiet, sacred hours, the heart is tender, and the soul absorbs the light of Allah's guidance. Approach these prayers not as burdens, but as privileges, moments where your soul can rise above worldly distractions and immerse itself in divine intimacy. The consistency of these acts builds a discipline that shapes your character, strengthens your resolve, and ignites spiritual momentum that continues even beyond Ramadan. Discipline is also about structure and intentionality. Just as athletes train their bodies to reach peak performance, our hearts and spirits require training through deliberate spiritual exercises. Set realistic and meaningful goals for your daily prayers, recitations, and supplications. Maintain regularity in Fajr, Maghrib, and Isha prayers, ensuring that the flow of daily worship becomes a rhythm that shapes your day, mind, and actions. Discipline in prayer is not punishment, it is empowerment. It trains the heart to remain steadfast in the face of challenges, reminding you that your relationship with Allah is a priority above all else. A key aspect of spiritual discipline is making your supplications dua intentional and heartfelt. Ramadan is the month when Allah's mercy is abundant and when prayers are most likely to be answered. Do not rush through dua as a formality. Speak to Allah as a child speaks to a loving parent, with honesty, humility, and hope. Pour your fears, gratitude, and aspirations into your supplications. Let each word reflect the depth of your heart's desire to grow, to purify, and to be guided. When combined with consistent prayer, intentional dua strengthens your bond with Allah and transforms challenges into opportunities for spiritual growth. Another vital element is patience and persistence. Elevating your spiritual discipline does not happen overnight. You may face fatigue, distractions, or moments of doubt. These moments are tests of your sincerity and dedication. The Prophet taught us that steadfastness, even in small acts of devotion, is beloved to Allah. Do not be discouraged by imperfection. Instead, let each day be a chance to improve, each prayer a step closer to Allah, and each night a moment to reconnect with your soul. Spiritual growth is a journey, not a destination, and Ramadan provides the perfect landscape for this journey. Equally important is maintaining humility and self-reflection. Elevating your prayers is not about showing devotion to others, it is about transforming your inner self. After each salah, take a moment to reflect, how present was I in my prayer? Did my heart connect with the words I recited? Did I feel the guidance of Allah shaping my thoughts, intentions, and actions? This reflection nurtures humility, strengthens sincerity, and ensures that your discipline is grounded in devotion rather than habit. Finally, elevating your prayers and spiritual discipline means living the principles of worship beyond the mosque and prayer mat. Ramadan is not just about rituals, it is about embodying the teachings of Islam in every moment. Let the mindfulness, patience, and sincerity you cultivate in prayer guide your interactions, your decisions, and your character. When your worship transcends ritual and transforms behavior, Ramadan becomes a catalyst for lifelong spiritual excellence. In essence, prayer is the heart of Ramadan, and spiritual discipline is its soul. By approaching Salah with mindfulness, embracing additional acts of worship, cultivating intentional supplication, practicing patience, and reflecting on every moment, we elevate not just our prayers but our entire lives. Ramadan then becomes more than fasting. It becomes a journey of transformation, a month where the soul is purified, the heart is guided, and the spirit rises toward Allah. As we prepare for Ramadan 2026, let us commit to this elevation. Let each prayer be a beacon, each act of discipline a ladder toward closeness with Allah, and each moment a step in the lifelong journey of spiritual growth. When we raise our prayers with sincerity and discipline, we invite Allah's mercy, light, and blessings into every aspect of our lives, turning Ramadan into a month of profound, lasting transformation. As we journey deeper into Ramadan, we realize that this sacred month is not only a time for personal purification, fasting, and prayer, it is also a time to open our hearts and hands in service to others. Charity and generosity are not just acts of kindness, they are expressions of faith, pathways to mercy, and opportunities to reflect the love and compassion of Allah in our daily lives. To prepare for Ramadan 2026 in a truly transformative way, we must embrace charity and generosity as central pillars of our devotion, ensuring that our spiritual growth extends beyond ourselves and touches the lives of those in need. The foundation of this keynote begins with understanding the essence of charity in Islam. Charity, or sadaqah, is not limited to giving wealth. It encompasses time, effort, care, and kindness. The Prophet said, "Charity does not decrease wealth. On the contrary, giving generously purifies our hearts, strengthens our souls, and attracts blessings that enrich both the giver and the receiver." When we give with sincerity, seeking only the pleasure of Allah, our wealth, time, and energy are transformed into tools of spiritual elevation. Ramadan amplifies the rewards of charity. Every act of generosity during this month carries immense spiritual weight. Even small deeds, a smile, helping someone in need, or sharing food with the hungry, become acts of worship with profound impact. The Prophet reminded us that helping others is a pathway to mercy and protection. Whoever relieves a believer's distress, Allah will relieve his distress in this world and the hereafter. During Ramadan, our compassion is heightened, our hearts are softened, and our capacity for selflessness grows. Embracing this opportunity allows us to embody the true spirit of Islam, to embrace charity and generosity. Effectively, we must begin with intentionality. Ask yourself, how can I make my giving purposeful, consistent, and meaningful? Reflect on the needs of your community, family, and even strangers, and consider ways to contribute that go beyond financial aid. Volunteering your time, mentoring someone in need, visiting the sick, or offering guidance to those struggling are all powerful forms of charity. When combined with sincere intention, these actions not only support others, but also purify your heart and strengthen your connection with Allah. Generosity also teaches us gratitude and empathy. Fasting reminds us of hunger and deprivation, and acts of charity allow us to extend compassion to those who face these challenges daily. By giving, we recognize the blessings in our own lives and share them with others. This awareness transforms our Ramadan into a month of deeper reflection, humility, and spiritual growth. The Prophet said, "He who is not merciful to others will not be treated mercifully." Charity, then, is not merely a duty, it is a reflection of the mercy we wish to receive from Allah. Another critical aspect of charity in Ramadan is consistency and planning. While spontaneous acts of kindness are beautiful, structured giving ensures that our generosity reaches those who need it most. Plan your zakat, distribute food for iftar, sponsor families, or contribute to causes that align with your values. Consistency in giving nurtures discipline, accountability, and spiritual mindfulness. It reminds us that true generosity is not about fleeting gestures, but about cultivating a lifelong habit of service and compassion. Equally important is embracing humility while giving. True generosity is never about recognition or praise. It is about seeking Allah's approval and serving humanity with sincerity. Avoid arrogance or comparison. Let your charity be quiet, heartfelt, and free from the desire for acknowledgement. When giving is infused with humility, it transforms from a mere act into a profound spiritual practice that elevates both the giver and the receiver. Charity also strengthens community bonds and social harmony. Ramadan is a time when Muslims come together in shared worship, and generosity fosters a sense of unity, empathy, and support. By reaching out to neighbors, assisting the vulnerable, and engaging in collective acts of kindness, we create an environment where faith is lived, hearts are connected, and spiritual growth is multiplied. A community that embraces generosity is a community that reflects the mercy, compassion, and justice that Islam teaches. Finally, embracing charity and generosity during Ramadan is a pathway to lasting transformation. The lessons learned, the hearts touched, and the bonds strengthened do not end with the month. Generosity becomes a habit, a mindset, and a way of life. Your wealth, your time, and your energy continue to serve as channels for blessing, mercy, and spiritual growth long after Ramadan has passed. In essence, to embrace charity and generosity is to expand the scope of your devotion beyond self and into service for others. It is to embody the spirit of mercy, compassion, and empathy that defines Islam. As we prepare for Ramadan 2026, let us make a conscious commitment to give generously, serve sincerely, and uplift those in need. Let every act of kindness, every hand extended in help, and every contribution, no matter how small, be a reflection of our faith, a purification of our hearts, and a manifestation of Allah's light in the world. When we embrace charity and generosity, Ramadan becomes more than fasting and prayer. It becomes a month of profound impact, enduring blessings, and a legacy of love that transforms our lives and the lives of others. Let us step into this sacred month with hearts wide open, hands ready to give, and spirits prepared to shine with the light of compassion. As Ramadan unfolds, we realize that true transformation is not limited to the body or external deeds. It begins in the mind and manifests in our actions. To fully embrace the blessings of Ramadan 2026, we must commit to purifying our thoughts, intentions, and behaviors, allowing our hearts to become mirrors of sincerity, compassion, and mindfulness. This purification is essential, for fasting the body without cleansing the mind is like watering a barren tree. It bears no fruit. Purifying the mind begins with awareness of our thoughts. The Prophet taught that Allah looks not only at our outward actions but at the inner state of our hearts. Negative thoughts, envy, resentment, and idle distractions can cloud His soul and reduce the impact of our worship. Ramadan invites us to observe our thoughts, recognize harmful patterns, and actively replace them with reflection, positivity, and mindfulness. Each moment of self-awareness brings clarity, strength, and alignment with Allah's guidance. One of the most profound steps in this purification is replacing negativity with gratitude and reflection. Every hardship, every challenge, and every success is an opportunity to recognize Allah's mercy and wisdom. When we focus on gratitude, we train our minds to see blessings rather than shortcomings. Gratitude purifies the heart, strengthens resilience, and fuels spiritual growth. Similarly, reflection allows us to examine our intentions, assess our behavior, and ensure that our actions reflect sincerity, honesty, and devotion. Purifying actions goes hand in hand with purifying the mind. Ramadan is not only about abstaining from food and drink, it is about abstaining from sin, harmful speech, and destructive habits. The Prophet emphasized that fasting protects not only the body, but also the tongue, the eyes, and the limbs. Every careless word, every unkind glance, and every harmful act diminishes the spiritual benefits of fasting. Therefore, to purify actions, we must be vigilant, intentional, and conscious of the impact of every choice we make. An essential element of purification is eliminating distractions that pull us away from Allah. In today's world, our minds are constantly bombarded with noise, social pressures, and temptations. Ramadan calls us to step back, simplify our surroundings, and prioritize what truly matters. Reduce idle scrolling, avoid harmful content, and distance ourselves from environments that promote negativity or weaken faith. By creating mental and emotional space, we allow our minds to focus on worship, reflection, and personal growth. Another key to purification is strengthening moral and ethical behavior. Islam teaches us that true piety is reflected in how we treat others, control our desires, and uphold justice and compassion. During Ramadan, strive to embody honesty, patience, humility, and kindness in every interaction. When actions are guided by ethical and moral principles, they purify the soul and align our lives with the light of Allah's guidance. Purification also involves forgiveness and letting go. Holding grudges, nurturing anger, or dwelling on past mistakes poisons the mind and obstructs spiritual growth. Ramadan provides a sacred opportunity to release resentment, seek forgiveness from those we have wronged, and reconcile with others. Forgiveness not only frees the heart from heaviness, but also opens the soul to mercy, peace, and divine blessings. Self-discipline is another cornerstone of purification. Fasting trains the body, but the mind must also be disciplined. Resist impulsive behaviors, curb unnecessary desires, and practice restraint in speech, thought, and action. Discipline ensures that every action, from prayer to interaction, is purposeful and aligned with faith. When mind and action are disciplined, Ramadan becomes a journey of deep inner transformation rather than mere ritual observance. Finally, purifying the mind and actions requires continuous reflection and accountability. Take time daily to evaluate your behavior, examine your intentions, and ensure that every deed reflects sincerity, humility, and devotion. Ask yourself, have I spoken with kindness? Have I acted with integrity? Have I aligned my intentions with the pleasure of Allah? This self-assessment is not meant to foster guilt, but to cultivate growth, mindfulness, and spiritual refinement. In essence, purifying the mind and actions transforms Ramadan into a holistic journey of the soul. It allows fasting to go beyond physical abstention, prayer to become heartfelt connection, and charity to emerge from genuine compassion. The process of purification is not limited to 30 days. It is the foundation for a life of sincerity, purpose, and alignment with Allah's guidance. As we prepare for Ramadan 2026, let us commit to this deep purification. Let us cleanse our minds of negativity, fill our hearts with gratitude, align our actions with ethics and sincerity, and create space for reflection, discipline, and forgiveness. When the mind is pure and the actions reflect the heart's devotion, Ramadan becomes more than a ritual. It becomes a month of profound transformation, eternal impact, and lasting closeness to Allah. As we reach the culmination of our preparation for Ramadan 2026, one of the most powerful steps we can take is to cultivate gratitude and reflection. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into blessings, softens the heart, and illuminates the soul. Reflection allows us to pause, evaluate, and realign our lives with purpose, ensuring that our actions and intentions resonate with the true spirit of Ramadan. Together, gratitude and reflection create a foundation for deep spiritual growth, lasting change, and a heart fully attuned to Allah's guidance. Gratitude begins with recognizing the countless blessings Allah has bestowed upon us. Often we focus on what we lack rather than what we have. We overlook the simple gifts of life, the breath we take, the food we eat, the roof over our heads, the people who love and support us. Ramadan teaches us to slow down and appreciate these blessings. Fasting reminds us of the hunger of others, prayer reminds us of the mercy of Allah, and charity reminds us of the abundance in our lives. Each of these acts opens the heart to gratitude, helping us see the richness of Allah's mercy in ways that transcend material wealth. True gratitude is active, not passive. It is expressed not only through words but also through deeds. When we are thankful, we act with kindness, generosity, and mindfulness. We treat others with compassion, offer help without hesitation, and use our time, energy, and resources to honor the blessings we have received. Gratitude transforms Ramadan from a month of ritual into a month of living faith, a month where every thought, word, and action is infused with awareness and thankfulness. Reflection, on the other hand, allows us to pause and examine our lives in the light of Allah's guidance. During Ramadan, take time each day to reflect on your intentions, your deeds, and your progress. Ask yourself, am I growing closer to Allah? Are my actions aligned with my faith? What habits or thoughts hold me back from becoming the best version of myself? Reflection is not about self-condemnation. It is about honesty, insight, and self-awareness. It allows us to identify areas for improvement and to embrace opportunities for spiritual renewal. Gratitude and reflection are deeply interconnected. When we reflect on our lives, we recognize Allah's guidance and mercy in every challenge, every blessing, and every lesson learned. This awareness deepens our gratitude, making us more mindful of our responsibilities and more devoted in our worship. Similarly, when we cultivate gratitude, reflection becomes richer. We are able to see the lessons in hardships, the growth in trials, and the wisdom in experiences that might otherwise go unnoticed. An essential aspect of this practice is maintaining a daily journal or quiet contemplation. Spend a few minutes each day noting the blessings you have received, the ways you have grown, and the areas you seek to improve. Documenting your reflections anchors your gratitude and helps you recognize patterns in your spiritual journey. Over time, you will see how your awareness deepens, your appreciation grows, and your heart becomes more attuned to Allah's guidance. Another key to cultivating gratitude and reflection is mindfulness in everyday actions. Ramadan is not confined to moments of fasting or prayer. It extends to every interaction, every choice, and every thought. Approach your daily life with awareness, express thanks when others help you, savor the nourishment you consume, and recognize the beauty in simple moments. This mindfulness strengthens your spiritual discipline, reinforces your connection with Allah, and ensures that your gratitude and reflection are not limited to words but are lived experiences. Gratitude also strengthens resilience. Life presents challenges, hardships, and moments of difficulty, but a grateful heart sees opportunities for growth, lessons in adversity, and signs of Allah's mercy even in tough times. Reflection allows us to process these challenges, extract wisdom, and adjust our actions with intention. Together, they create a mindset that transforms trials into opportunities for spiritual and personal growth. Finally, cultivating gratitude and reflection ensures that Ramadan becomes a lasting journey rather than a temporary experience. When we carry the lessons of thankfulness and introspection beyond the month, we continue to grow in faith, humility, and devotion. Gratitude enriches our relationships. Reflection sharpens our self-awareness, and together they guide our lives toward purpose, sincerity, and spiritual excellence. In essence, cultivating gratitude and reflection is the culmination of all the steps we have taken: renewing intention, connecting with the Qur'an, elevating prayer, embracing generosity, and purifying mind and actions. It is the step that ties all others together, ensuring that Ramadan leaves a lasting imprint on our hearts and transforms our lives in a profound, meaningful way. As we prepare for Ramadan 2026, let us open our hearts to gratitude, devote our minds to reflection, and embrace this sacred month as a unique opportunity for transformation, closeness to Allah, and spiritual illumination. Let every blessing we notice, every lesson we learn, and every moment of introspection strengthen our faith and guide our actions. When gratitude and reflection become habits of the heart, Ramadan becomes not just a month, but a lifelong journey of spiritual growth, mercy, and divine connection.